That's right, it's the year review with Office Hours. Stick around at the end for a clue to something. Man, my timing was really off on that. I really wanted to land it on the cut. I tried to stretch it.
You stretched it a little bit.
We tried a little bit. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Adobe Office Hours. I'm Andrew Hochradel.
I'm Nick Longo.
And we are your hosts for this show, Adobe Office Hours. There's a lot of you here that maybe have never been to Office Hours before. So, Nick, can you introduce, say what the show is, say who we are, and what we do here?
Yeah, what's up, everybody? My name is Nick Longo. This is Office Hours. We've been here for over 2 years doing a Friday show, getting you guys all up to date on everything Adobe, everything creative. Really trying to help you up your game when it comes to being a creative.
Yes.
Did I miss anything?
No, I think that's it. We've spent just over 2.5 years. I believe this is episode 124 of Adobe Office Hours. We've been doing a ton of them. So thanks for joining us. If you are watching the replay and you want to skip forward to whatever content is relevant to you, hit Control Right and it will actually skip you through the chapters to find the content that's relevant for you. If you're watching live, say hi in chat because you're stuck with us. Say hi and let us know what is up. So today we are doing our year in review. It is a very special day and we are talking about everything that has happened this year on Adobe Office Hours with Adobe Creative Cloud. There's a whole bunch of stuff. And do we want to just jump in, Nick? Do we need to set anything up?
Yeah, we don't have any really announcements to go through. This is just kind of, right?
Yeah, let's jump in. So we're going to jump in and we're going to be covering a whole bunch of stuff here. And as we go through the list, if you're watching at home live, put in our live chat. Let us know what your favorites were. We're going to talk about favorite fonts, favorite tools. Let us know what your favorites are, and maybe we'll show them here on the stream. It's a very collaborative show. We love to do it live. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do it live. And speaking of live, we are moving to Twitch at the beginning of next year, which we'll talk more about at the end of the show, as well as another big announcement that we have on the way. All right, let's go ahead and hop in. And someone said that they shared some quotes in Discord, so maybe we'll hop over there in a minute. Nick,
nice.
Let's talk about the best new features that came to Creative Cloud this year. Do you want to start out with yours? Because I think yours is like the most recent one that I think is incredible.
Yeah, so we all got to experience Intertwine. Debuted at Adobe Max this past October. And to me, this was probably one of the game changers to have this ability to do all of this cool stuff and actually interlace objects, fonts, live fonts, outline fonts, whatever. Here's a great example of how that worked. And that control has been amazing. I can say I've probably brought it into about 3 to 4 different projects already.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of cool. And I'm being really subtle with it. I'm not, it's like, I think we all laughed and said, oh, this will be the year of intertwined logos.
It's like Celtic logos and
Exactly. Right. And I'm just finding unique ways to even do it with, let's say, a product shot and then some photography or some typography over it.
Yep.
So, this has been a really cool thing to have. And I love that they found something that took 5 to 6 really complicated steps that would have taken 20 to 30 minutes and turned it into something that is just one click away. The fact that it works with live text and you can actually change the text and it still work is pretty amazing. So that's probably one of my favorite tools. I think that they debuted, but as far as the one that I think was the one that I discovered was this idea of taking Aero and Illustrator and including here, this was my buddy Michael that I'm sure a lot of you guys got to see. I got to host him on Adobe Live, and he showed how he was able to not only do this beautiful work and actually take it from Illustrator into Photoshop, and then he took it into Aero and was able to produce these 3D pieces. And it was the coolest thing to have as an asset that you can add to as far as augmented reality and show it in its environment. So here's a great example of how he tagged it to a trading card. And what it does is it plays it and almost makes it look like a cardboard cutout in 3D in augmented reality, all from 2 apps using the Adobe Suite. And I mean, this is just the coolest stuff ever.
Yep. I do think that 2022 was the year of 3D. Like, I think that, like, augmented reality 3D tools came a long way.
Yeah.
And I do think that they are going to get way bigger next year. I think 2023, that's one of my predictions you get ahead of time. 2023 3D is going to be the thing to look for. We are doing a 3D boot camp in February here on Adobe Live. And so we'll be doing an in-depth look at every 3D program, how you can use them, how you can use them with Illustrator, Photoshop, all that funness. So stay tuned for February. We'll be going into 3D, but it is like, I think, the trend of the year.
Exactly.
So,
and just in case, if you want to check that case study out,
yes.
Wade, I sent you the link if you want to throw it in chat. It is such a cool project to check out. Totally inspiring. Find a way to get that involved, you know?
Yep, absolutely. And if you love his work and would love to hear more about it, he's speaking at Creative South Conference this year. So he'll be out at Creative South Conference in April, in March? End of March, I think it is. If you want to check it out, we'll be there. I'll be there too. All right, let's go ahead and show my favorite tools. So my favorite thing has saved me so much time. And this is a project that I was working on for Southwest that ended up dying, but I knew that there was a new tool that was the new select tools in general. There's so many new selection tools in Photoshop. And for me, this is my number one of the year. And yes, Bob Rafferty is saying Adobe Capture is a great tool. Yeah, Capture is a big winner of 2022 as well.
I agree, man.
Yep. So mine are the selection tools. So I love that we have the magic wand. We love the magic wand. It's great. But when I was taking this, I knew that I didn't need to set up like a great shoot because the tools are now in Photoshop that I can just grab these objects super quickly. So I can hold and then go to the quick selection tool or the object selection tool. So the object selection tool is the new one, which I love. It is analyzing this image with the Adobe Sensei technology in the cloud, floating a million tiny pieces above my head. And it is identifying where every object is. And now when I just hover over, look at that. It can very, very quickly and easily just grab each of these pieces. So I want to grab this one and I just want that piece. I can mask and boom, I got that piece, right? Yeah. Magic.
Bless you.
Woo. You guys are lucky I have a mute on my mic because that was intense.
That was an
experience. So this for me is my favorite. And then the other thing that you can do with this is you can actually just like draw around stuff, right? So, ooh, Andrew, come on, pull it together.
Hey.
So if I wanted to grab maybe a couple of these, I could just click and drag around them and it would find those two pieces for me and then I could mask them out. So it is just so much easier than any other masking that has been in Photoshop in the past. And so for me, top 2022 tip. Oh my goodness. Top 2022 tool tip is the selection tools. The one thing that I learned in my process that would be kind of my top tip for 2022 is the ability to click through stacked objects. And let me show you what I mean here. I'm gonna go ahead and stack up a bunch of things in Illustrator, and here's my screen. Yes. There we go. So this is my favorite is we have all of these selected. And in the past, I would always just move stuff to like get it to the right place. And you don't have to do that. You can actually hold Control and it will click through each object. So I'm literally clicking through all the way to the back, just hitting Control. And then it will come back up to the top. So you can just cycle through the layers of objects that are overlapping and I'm holding Control. And that is like one of the biggest things that I discovered in 2022. The other thing that I discovered in 2022 is the ability to change or select the stroke or fill. It used to be that I would use the eyedropper tool, right?
Yes.
And I'd want to bring the same tools. Maybe I want this to be that stroke color. And so I'd use the eyedropper tool and I'd click on it, but it would change the whole thing. And so I learned that you can hold Shift. And then if you hold Shift and click on it, it will actually just grab, I literally did it wrong. If you have the fill selected, if you hold Shift, it will replace only that color. It will sample only the color instead of both of the attributes. So that's something that you shift.
That's a good way to narrow it down.
Yep. Yeah. You shift with the eyedropper tool. Huge time saver for me. And for me, I think that that's my best new feature of 2022.
You reminded me of one in Illustrator. the type, what was it called? The one where you can you can keep it live.
Oh, Touchtype?
Touch type tool. Remember
Yep.
that?
Yeah, Touchtype is
Come on,
right here.
guys.
And Touchtype is the
That's
way
great.
that you can literally like start moving things around without
Yeah.
having to make it like its own thing. It literally stays as active type. And you can make
Yeah.
some really fun compositions using the Touchtype tool. Yes, I believe
I love the
Touchtype is
mind-blowing ones
one of my best
that
too.
have been there for, I think it's been there for a little bit, but like when we discover it, we're all just like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. You want to tell everybody.
Oh yeah, Touchtype has been here for like a while. So it's
I
not a
know.
new 2022, but for us, it's something that we
Hey,
discovered.
it's all about when you discovered it.
It's about when you discovered it, which is one of our favorites.
And look at that. You
Best
just made
new
it even funner.
VHers. Love this one.
That's great.
All right, so let's talk about improving our process. There were a lot of hacks and a lot of tools that were released that made things a lot easier
Yeah.
and a lot faster.
Okay.
So my favorite thing is a Photoshop thing, and this is just something that like helped to improve the process of compositing for me, and that's neural filters. So there were a lot of those added in, and you can get those by going to... Where are the neural filters?
Oh,
They're in filter.
filter. Right.
Where are they? Oh, my
They're in
brain's gonna
Photoshop,
explode.
right?
Well, yeah, they're in Photoshop. Why can I not
Yeah.
find them? Where do I know where they are?
They're in there.
In filter gallery?
No, I keep going. What are the other ones? One more over to the left. One more over to the left.
Filters?
Keep going. No, go to the right now.
Okay.
To the right.
Okay.
One more.
Plugins.
Oh, it's not there.
Do you have neural filters?
I should. I will open up Photoshop and see. But yeah, it
All
should
right.
be in there.
Anyway, neural filters, which I can't find right now, which is hilarious. Neural
did that
filters
happen?
are one of my favorites. They're under filters. Okay, that's what I thought.
Is it not
Oh,
showing up on
it's not. Hold on. It's because I have a freaking mask selected.
Oh,
Gosh, that's
it.
100%
Okay.
it. That's hilarious.
Oh my
Let me go
God.
ahead and open up a headshot just because I want to show
There
you
you
all
go.
what we can do
That'll
with
be
these.
much better.
It's like 95%. It's always user error.
Thank God you figured that out.
Oh my gosh. How much stress can we endure in one episode? All right.
I know.
I also love that chat saw it, like everybody saw it. So my favorite thing are these neural filters, and you can come in here, click on neural filters, and then you can actually like make people smile. You can change like the direction of their face. You can turn on smart portrait here, which is what I think I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to turn on smart portrait, and then you can change like the happiness. I want to be really happy. This is gonna be hilarious.
You were just kind of happy.
Yeah, I wasn't quite happy enough, and so we're gonna get really, really, really happy. It's taking a little while process. There we go. Yeah. Yes.
Oh my God, that's the best.
So you can do all kinds of things to where you can augment the facial age. You can do all kinds of stuff. This is just like I think it's the funnest thing. And so for me, this is the win of the year.
Oh my God, that's
neural-
which one did that do?
That was the eye direction. It tried to change my eye direction. And so yes,
it does look like you've made it like 10 years younger. Actually, too.
It's true. So
Kinda
it does
cool.
have a bunch of other ones. So it's got the JPEG artifacts, super zooms, depth of field, colorize. You can restore old photos in here really easily. But for me, improving my workflow, that just saves me a ton of time, especially the happiness. I actually use this. Oh, this is going to sound so bad. All right, here's my story. I have to tell you guys.
Yeah.
I used a neural filter on a picture for someone's funeral. Because the only picture that we had for them to put on like the like display, they looked like kind of grumpy, and so I used a neural filter to make them smile a little bit to like have a happy memory, and it looked great and it worked really well, and I felt super guilty about it.
I think you brought a little extra joy to a family's life.
It helps
That's what you
people. I
did.
think people were happy about it. Yes, I agree. So Nick, for you, improving process, what was your top improving process tip for the year?
I've got one that lives in Adobe and one that I'm currently like figuring out a little bit more that involves our case studies. First one for me was 100% learning Adobe Express and understanding where it could fit and kind of work in my way. I am using it on like social media and stuff occasionally for some clients. But what its biggest thing was for me was the ability to teach clients to go to it, sign up for it, and now I can share with them the assets and libraries and brands for them to actually create really great social media posts. And one of the best things we did was started these brand boards for my clients specifically. So even on this one here, what we were able to do was I put every single asset that we've created for the brand, everything from PNGs of the cans, all of the hand illustrations we did in fresco, all of the title treatments for them, every version of the logo. And what's great is now they are loving this idea of going in there and actually making some of the stuff based on preset templates. And what's great is I gave them even this little like just a top 10 commandments of the brand to continue, like font choices, we put those in the brand, but also like just little things like never overcrowd it, let the logo have breathing room, because you're giving instruction to folks that maybe are not too used to doing these things when it comes to that. And having these brands and everything else has been just a great way to give them all these things, and I just love it. So that's my big one with there. The second one was this idea of this really great article and blog came up about the case study and how it's broken. And it got me into this thing of learning more process about how to actually go in there. This is a great one. I'll give this link to Wade as well, so he can drop it into chat. But what it does, it talks a little bit about how the focus should be on your success story. How many times have we brought that up? And maybe I could be a little bit better at doing that as well. It talks about how much copy and how much case study to actually include. Don't over design, keep it clean, let your work speak for itself. And it's such a great one. And then there was this other one here where they actually took the time to go through and say, jot down all your copy first before you design. I thought that was amazing. And then they even go down here to a perfect little case study piece here where they show some great examples and then how you can actually put it together. I thought this was a beautiful little diagram of, if you are lost and don't know where to start, this is a fantastic area to start. And I'm redesigning, and we'll get to that in resolutions, but to me, I'm really spending a lot of time on this to figure out how my process in a case study could be better, easily more communicative, and I get better results when it comes to what's on my website.
Yeah.
So that's definitely been a huge plus for me as well.
I love that. That's a good one. So
yeah.
With that, those are some of our top tools. We're going to go back and do a little bit more near the end of the show, but we want to recap what we've done here in Office Hours this year, because it has been a huge year for Adobe Office Hours. If you've never joined us, we've been going for 2.5 years, and we have done a ton of work this year. And we're going to go in, I'm going to show you our YouTube playlist, but I just want to recap what we've done. First of all, we did 101, 201, 301. This was the year of creative basics. We took you through everything that you need to know to get started with the Adobe Creative Cloud and with creativity in general. Nick, what were some of the topics that we covered in the 101, 201, 301?
What was great was we did Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign, and then we kind of broke it into some niche ones as well that became little mini boot camps throughout the way. But I gotta say, I remember when this idea was talked about over a year ago, I was like, there's no way we could do this in 1 year. And actually it happened, and we had even more room to add more stuff to it, because we were realizing, as you guys were learning with some of the stuff, there were other things we can break into it. So I love that we did the logo bootcamp. To me was, I think, the best little side note from that as well. But I enjoyed breaking down Illustrator into 3 stages. And I think you've really loved doing that with InDesign as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I love InDesign. So if you want to find that, you can actually just search Adobe Office Hours on the internet, on YouTube. So search Adobe Office Hours on YouTube, and then you can scroll down. You can see these are all 124 episodes that we have done for Adobe Office Hours. And near the bottom for this year, you can see the 101, 201, 301 classes. So if you want to get started in creativity, there's a full course here. 101, and then we show you how to do logos. We have 201, and then we show you how to do some photography. And then we have 301, and then get into some InDesign work. So if you want to catch up, we did this all year here on Adobe Office Hours, and it was a really fun time. I loved doing this series. And it was just a good way to go. And yes, we love the logo bootcamp. We're going to kind of cycle through the things that we did just to look back. The logo bootcamp was the next thing that we did. create a bunch of logos, and you all in our Discord created logos as well. Did some amazing work. I remember Katarina did some nice work. We had Giorgima was in there. So a couple of our regulars here on the show were hanging out in Discord and creating logos with us. After that, we spent a little bit of time in Adobe Express. And Nick, this has to be one of the biggest innovations of the year, right?
And I know it's gonna grow and grow and grow. It's like, to me, it is such a game changer for not only the intermediate or the beginner, but I love that we showed even an advanced designer can use this to their advantage, just like I kind of showed you with what I use it for, and then what I've given it to clients too. Yep. And I mentioned it to Andrew just before we got on. I just convinced a client to move over there, and they left something else, came over, saw Adobe Express, and was like, oh my God, I wish I'd saved the text. She was like, this is amazing. Like, imagine the non-designer coming to this and being like, I just got a level up with everything on here. So I'm a big fan.
What I love about Adobe Express is that like they're shipping updates like so quickly. Like every week there's like a new thing. And so I'm excited to see in 2023. That's one of my look forwards to in 2023 of where Adobe Express is going to go, because it's going to be insane if they keep doing updates and incorporations and plugins and all that. And even a lot of these quick actions have been awesome and have been added. So I'm excited for what's new coming to Adobe Express next year and throughout the year. I think it'll be a really, really good time.
Oh yeah. All those little quick actions as well. I use the QR code thing probably every day.
Oh, like it's literally all the time.
Like, I just love that it's not some wonky URL that I'm checking out that's like, are they, who knows what they're doing, or like what I've agreed to get that QR code to download from them.
Yep.
So I love that they do that as well. So, and using it on the phone, on the go, if you need to do a quick Instagram story and you just don't want to be stuck with the stuff that's on, the interface there, it gives you something fun to do, and you can do it right on your phone.
Yep, absolutely. So let's talk real quick about some of our favorite moments here in Adobe Office Hours. We had a lot of really great moments this year. Nick, what was your favorite moment that we had on Adobe Office Hours this year?
God, there's so many. Can we just do a plethora, because I can't narrow it down?
Right, yeah.
I know we talked about two maybe up at the beginning. I'd say number one was first celebrating the 100th episode.
Yeah.
I think that was a huge... Like, as much as we love doing this every day, and I love even the time we get to spend off camera to plan for the week ahead, like that day was just a huge thing. It was kind of a huge revelation that, wow, 100 episodes. You see that in TV shows, and we just kind of were like virtually high-fiving through that whole week. So,
yep, I agree. And if you want to watch that, it was a really fun episode. It's here at number 96 on our playlist. We really like wiggle some things around here. But yes, so that is 100th episode. It was a great time this year. We were so excited. We reached 2 years of doing Adobe Office Hours. It was a great time. That would be one of my highlights as well.
Yeah.
My other highlight, I loved this episode, the pitching episode. I think was really fun. Nick and I pitched ideas to each other. And then the other one is the pricing episode, which was last week. If you want to learn about pricing, I love when we talk about pricing. And so 2022, one of my favorite episodes was literally last week. It was so much fun, and it had a ton of great information for you to understand how to price your projects and how to make that money, because we want you to make that money here on Office Hours. We love to help you.
Yeah. What were you guys' favorite moments? I'd love to know from you guys what things really stood out, because we had the categories were like, I love that we had quite a year of complexity, right? You had the Pro Series, we had the basics, we did a few boot camps. Don't forget about Max. I think it was incredible to have a week that was like all about Adobe once again in real life, and then getting to share it with you guys. We got the best thing too. Oh, okay. My favorite moment, because it has to do with Office Hours. It wasn't on Office Hours, but you and I were both at the Adobe booth, and behind on the TV was an episode of Office Hours playing. And we took a picture, and there we were both in front of the TV going, we are real.
It's real, real
It
people.
was like,
I think one of my favorite moments was meeting some of you at Adobe Max. There are
yes.
people that came up that watched Adobe Office Hours that got reviewed their portfolios a couple years ago. It was our first chance to meet all of you in chat, which was just my favorite. Hopefully there are more opportunities for us to meet each other, run into each other. I'll see you at Creative South. I'll see you at Circles Conference. There's a whole bunch of conferences, hopefully Crop, a bunch of conferences that hopefully Nick and I will run into you at and get to meet more of you next year, which would be really cool.
Yeah, that was a great day.
All right. So let's talk about our favorite project. And we're going to do this in two sections. We're going to do kind of a favorite project that we did. And then I'm going to show one of my favorite projects that just launched last year to give you guys a little bit of inspiration. And someone is saying, I loved the Halloween episode. Yes, the Halloween Spooktacular was a really fun time. I agree with that.
Anytime you can add spooktacular to a title, this guy over here goes nuts.
True. It's true. I love it. Yeah. Any kind of tacular, I'm in. Any tacular that you can make. So for me, my favorite project that I launched last year was this project with one of my friends, Rick. He's a fashion designer in LA. He was on Project Runway, and I actually watched him on Project Runway and was like, dude, his work is amazing. Like, he's so cool. We ended up meeting up and we did a fashion line together, which is just like not even in my wildest dreams would I think that that would be a thing. And so we designed a whole bunch of different variations. We did photo shoots. We had a full like runway show. Like we literally had a runway show. Here are all the designs that we did. There's more coming. I'm wearing one of the shirts right now. That's so funny. I didn't even do that on purpose. But we did like a fashion show in LA, and it was one of the coolest things that I've gotten to work on. One of the most fun, and Rick is just like a great designer. And this was something to me that for this year, it was like a really cool highlight because I never thought that would happen. All right.
I think it's right up your alley too. Like I love 100%. When a job lands in your lap and it's so the designer, like you're like, let me play. That was like exactly it, right?
Yep. Which is going to be my favorite project of 2023 is happening. We're going to do another fashion line with another choice airline that will be releasing in June. I've been dragging that out for like a year and a half, but it's actually happening now and it's coming out in June. So y'all get ready.
Beautiful.
All right. So let's go to yours. Nick, what was your favorite project that you worked on last year?
I have one brief mention of this rebrand of a thing I had already done. I'd never rebranded something that I had originally made.
That's fun.
And it was neat to admit that maybe the previous one did not stand the test of time. And what I did in my thing here was I snuck a little case study in to my Instagram post where I showed the revise of this core lineup, and I showed the 4 that were originally there. I showed some of the issues that were involved with it. And then I looked to the competition and what competitively was being done. And how do I bring in trends and things that are out there to a brand that might not have it? So it was this challenge to get it done. And to me, I even showed some of the okay ones, some of the failures as well. And then the final that was actually something that became, and the best part about it, and I got to mention my buddy Adam Grayson, who did the illustration on one of these. He's an amazing illustrator. And he took this whole Point Dune. This is where they filmed Planet of the Apes right on Malibu Beach. And that's what the beer is named after. But the cool thing here was understanding that, like, yes, we could do some cool stuff and things look great, but the sales have gone up unbelievable for this client. And I think it's when you really look about the real deal about how is it communicating to a consumer? Is it standing out amongst the competition? All that fun stuff we say, when you do put it into play, the results are really there. And my second one was this. I've never done anything close to a food line. And this was an entire food line that was done for it's called Mama Shauna Stewed. And it's basically these first all organic line to hit the non-refrigerated section. So it was just the funnest thing to work on, everything from the pre-packs and all the shipper containers and the fun stuff. And I don't get this kind of fun with a lot of projects. So for me, it was like cool to like let a little bit loose, have some fun with it, try to stick to 2 colors. And for me, these were, my two favorites of what we got to work on.
Nick, you're so freaking good. I love it.
Oh, dude, thank you, man.
All right, so I'm going to show my favorite project that was
yes.
launched by another company. Nick, if you have one, you can pull it up.
Oh,
but
yeah,
my
we're
favorite
looking good.
is the Sprite rebrand. Turner Duckworth
Yeah.
did this, and it is just such a masterclass. And like doing a brand audit, because it's not a full rebrand, but it is this like really nice reimagining of the Sprite brand. Look at this. Like, I love the clear, like little accents coming over here. Oh, it's so good. The typography is delicious. It's just so good.
That is the most confident can. Go back to that can. I mean, just the way it's cropped out and the way it's too big for the can. I mean, and that the crisp, you know what I love? That is like crisp is their main word, right?
Oh, it
and
is.
You look at that
crispy
font. Every bit of that font has this crispness to it. The I to the T. Oh, it
just screams like beautiful. It's Sprite. Like it just like is like in your face, and I love that.
It's so simple.
It's just so good. And like the clear. Oh, this one. This is what got me. The clear typography that they did with the bottle wrap. They did that in a couple places, and I was like, it's gorgeous. Like, that's insane. What about you, Nick? What was your favorite project that launched this year?
This was a good one, and I'd even followed the Misfit Foods. Misfit Foods was this like brand that took the fruits and vegetables that got kind of like turned away because they were misfits. They grew weird, and they found a way to use them in smoothies and different food lines. But what they did was they changed it over to this thing called Phil's Finest. They no longer needed to tell that story of these fruits and vegetables. So they show here I just love this. This, to me, I dig the things that I would never attack. This would be never a solution from me. And I love brands that just have these fantastic ones. But then it gets into how they animate it and how they show it brought to life with this like intentionally fuzzy,
so fun,
pin. But it gets better. Then they have things like this.
This is very, if you guys are looking for a designer that does this style, this is very like Titus Smith.
Yes,
Titus Smith is like a great designer to follow if you like the style. This is
here's
incredible.
There's the old, right? And then here's the new. You look at this is going to shout on the shelf. Look at the difference between how much information was on the left and with very little hierarchy. Now you've got clear, concise. I love the customized die cuts of everything, but look at how great
it's so good
the entire
together.
Piece looks. This is just one of my favorites. I love these images, how they look with the food and everything else. And for someone that does a lot of food packaging, I look at this and just go like, you can't help but be inspired.
Hold on, go back.
That's great.
I've never seen that. I've never seen an animated like up. An animated poster. That's such a great idea, because that's a thing. Like, we totally have the TVs doing advertising now, and that is such a great thing to incorporate into a case study.
Wonderful stuff. The only other one I found that I thought was great was this Nutiva, and if you look back at their old one here, I mean, when you just see rebrands next to each other, and I think it's so powerful to show the before and afters. But I just think for a simple line with a lot of SKUs, they were able to make sure the way they brought in, okay, how do we do in the chocolate spread compared to the coconut, and this beautiful illustration and everything they had in the background, I just thought was fantastic. And again, very cool to see. You get a lot of insight on these recaps. Those were two of my favorites for sure.
Yep, absolutely. So continuing on guys? With our favorite, what are your favorites, chat?
Wow.
Come on, chat.
Gotta know.
Yeah, what do you
give us some rebrands? Give us some projects you saw people do. Who do you follow on it? Like, is there anyone we're missing? Like, let us know.
And while you put that in there and let us know, we're going to talk about our fonts of the year. So Nick and I have very different fonts of the year. Surprisingly, Nick's is like crazier and more fun than mine, which I feel like my font type is always just like total insanity. But this year it's the opposite. Nick, what's your winner for this year? Font of the year.
This was the one I really love. This Beatty's Supper. I just love this one. I think we can we make these bigger? Let's see. Guess not. Let's see.
Text size.
Text size. Oh, let's do this. Love this. I'm always looking for these ones that are a little quirky, like this here, right? But then when you go back up here and you see some of the ones that they had for, like, where was it? Here. This, to me, I just love this added little value that you get with that R. Like, I tell my students this all the time, find the thing that's familiar, but has a sense of surprise and a sense of like, what is that?
It's
And I
always
think
the
if you
R.
can,
It's the R and the
right?
S in any font.
Yeah. And look at the K too. The K's got a
Oh,
little
and the
funky
K as well. Yeah.
as well. So really, really cool. There's a little better look at it there. But this was one of my favorites. I, again, just love these ones. Look at the openings of the P and the R too. They're just a little bit different. How do you even say what your favorite's going to be? I had so many other ones that like I used that just when it's, I think the best is the best of the moment. Like, did it work for the project you were in? Did it work for the needs you were looking for? But for one of my favorites, this was mine. What about you, man?
So mine is Dunbar. I use Dunbar all the time. It is it's just tasty. It's just like simple and delicious, and it gets so thick. Like, I love the chunkiness of this Dunbar tall. And look at that, a new button. Try an Adobe Express. That's really cool.
I saw that the other day.
Look
I was
at
like,
that.
wow.
Dunbar's Office. Dunbar's Office. Dunbar's awesome. I was going to type office in here because you have this really elegant thin, but then as you get thicker, like it really has some punch to it. And then especially if you do it in all caps, and this is mostly how I use it, is all caps, it really at these big sizes gets like super chunky. I just think that this is like the coolest, like big hit of a font. And so I love using Dunbar. And CJ Dunn is super cool. We highlighted him, I believe, on a stream a while ago, and he was like, thanks for using my font. And I was like, dude, it's always cool to know that like there's real people behind these making real fonts, and they like to be appreciated.
Isn't it cool too to have the access with Adobe fonts at the drop of a dime? Like when you're, it's funny, even though it's been out for so long, when I'm looking for a new font, my mind instantly goes like, where do I go first? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, go to Creative Cloud, go look real quick.
Just go take a
add
look.
in some keywords. And it's next thing you know, it's synced everywhere. The best thing, I don't know about a lot of you who have two computers sometimes, to have it all synced up on fonts on the other one. That's number one for me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right.
Keep
so
going.
Nick and I are going to fight a little bit. You guys love when we fight a little bit. Nick, let's talk about industry trends that need to retire. So Nick's going to talk about one that he thinks needs to retire. It was a big trend in 2022, and he wants it gone for 2023. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about one that I love that's happening now that I want to continue in 2023.
Gotcha.
So Nick, you can start, and then we can yell at each other.
Full disclaimer. Disclaimer.
This is
everything I'm going to show you. I absolutely love.
Okay.
But I feel it is a trend that has gotten so overpopular that no one owns it. It's too vanilla now, and I think it's going to be looked at as a trend of oh, remember that in 2022? I call it melty fonts. Like, I don't know what else to call it, but some of these fonts I think are absolutely gorgeous, and typographers have done wonderful jobs. But just unfortunately, I think a lot of this was used it too much to the point where I question even its readability. It's great in poster, it's great in editorial, but I think in brand, where I've seen it used the most, feels like a huge disconnect for me. And I just think, why would you do this if you're developing a brand for someone, if it's following, again, a trend rather than leading and finding into something your own? Again, love them all. This was a little image I put together when I just started to see that this trend was happening, where like things were melting a little bit and looking a little, but I think I applaud the ones like this Voca here that just to me are like, that's the future of typography. I look at that and go like, what is that? That I love. Keep that going. But it's this weird kind of melty thing that I fear is just a little bit tough.
I think it's great. I love it, and I hope that it stays forever. But I think a good example, Nick, of what you were showing is if you guys ever watch Legendary on HBO Max, fantastic, amazing show. But all the team names were in those like super melty, hard to read, like wild, wonky fonts. I loved every second of them. This isn't like as bad, no. But I mean, it's pretty much like it's great. I love that. I hope that it stays forever, and I hope it never goes away.
Yeah.
Which leads you to my favorite trend of the last year that I hope continues into next year, and that is wonky letters, baby. Give me those weird wonky letters stretched and squished. I want them melty. I want them barely readable. That's the jam that I love. And Brand New Conference did the best job I've ever seen of this. Look at this. Look at how gorgeous that is. So
It's
I
incredible.
love like type taking on new life and really having personality. And we've seen a couple, Collins has done a couple projects that have really expressive type. And so I love the crazy expressive type. And I want to see more of this happening next year. Just,
Oh, oh, look at
it's
that.
so good. So I think
Even
that,
if you freeze framed it, I love it because I'm a big fan of like puzzle piece fonts where they connect and they have these like areas to fill in the blanks the way that does.
yep.
That's crazy good. I applaud that 100%.
Like this. This is just like a cool step and repeat.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks so unique and it
Oh
moves.
God, it's
It,
alive.
Dude, okay, here's the thing. If you guys don't follow Brand New and Armin Vitz, and Bryony, I think her name is.
Oh
Uh,
yes, his wife.
they're absolute monsters.
Yeah,
Like their work is insane, and the case studies they do for their conference is just tip top every time. They're one of the best conferences I go to ever. They just like have it figured out. Follow them,
yeah,
please.
yeah.
All right, so we've got about 15 minutes left, and we've got a couple more things to talk about. The first of which being some resolutions for next year. Nick, let's talk about what resolutions we have,
Yeah.
maybe as creatives, as business owners, as freelancers. What are some of your resolutions that you have for next year?
I'm starting a course that is all about pricing and I still want to learn more. Here we did a course on pricing last week and I'm starting a new one online and I needed it because I think I still need to find a way to charge more and feel more confident with it. So I use the New Year's as a chance to kind of always take that step and say, am I, you always ask if you're getting a lot of yeses on your estimates, you're probably not charging enough. And so I want to get a little bit more courageous and brave and start asking for a new level of pricing. And that's not just to make more money. That's just because you get better and you want to make sure that's there. And the best way I'm going to do that is over the break, I'm building my resolution goal is to finish the new website by like the beginning of January. So that's
Ooh,
kind of, yeah.
that's a big I
That's
need to.
scary because that's like so close.
Yeah, I think my 2023 is also, I need to redo my website. I am launching that big project with Southwest in June, and it's going to have a lot of eyes on it and be like a pretty big deal. And my website sucks right now. So I think that my 2023, I do want to
Good
redo
idea.
my website. I think that it would be a good idea to fix that up and kind of change things over.
Yeah.
So I want to show a couple more of my favorite things. Nick, do you have any more like favorite recappy kind of 2022 things? You had so many tabs
Gosh.
open, and I was like, does he have more
I
things over
know.
there?
I know. I'm going to do a quick look and see if there's anything else I forgot. We
And
went over augmented
yeah,
reality.
while
We
you do
did some
that, I
great
want to
stuff. Yeah.
show real quick something that I did on stream the other day that was one of my favorite tools as well. Where is that file?
Oh, and tell us your resolutions, guys, goals, anything. Drop it in chat. I want to see you because I need more.
I need Mas Yokiro Mas. So I did a stream for our holiday special that had 1 second. Let me drop this in here. That's last year's. I did some mirroring stuff, and I want to show you how to do that because I think that was really cool, and I think especially for the
Cool.
holidays, it's just a good way to like recap and try some things. Let me see here. Holiday. There we go. Got it. Do I have it? I don't know if I have it. Anyway, I'll just show you in Illustrator because it'll be easy. So one of the things that I did is I actually created a template so that you could see what your snowflake was going to look like. And so I created like one object, right? So we have this thing. And then we would draw inside it. And so I'd click on the little draw inside, which is one of the tools that is new to me in Illustrator. I'd never really used it. And it's crazy powerful. Like it is such a good tool to use in Illustrator. So let's draw with the brush tool. And I would just go in here and maybe do some little wiggles. Well, this is getting very like, what's the word that I want? It's very 80s.
Organic. Oh, it's very not. It's very Saved by the Bell.
Yes, I actually I sold a client on something and I called it corporate blob style. I was like, yeah,
Yes.
like the
Good.
corporate blob. So
Now
check this
give
out.
it a drop shadow and float it around.
Right? Yeah. And so what I did is I would select this object right here, right? And then we'd go to object and we would go to repeat and then mirror. And I think the repeat tools are newer this year.
Yeah.
And I think that they're a really cool thing. So I can mirror it that way, right? And then what we did is we went through and mirrored it again. We went to object, we went to repeat, and went to mirror one more time. This time I did it at 45 degrees. And just line everything up to the center here. And this is literally the easiest way to make a snowflake. And you can cut it out. You can print it, cut it out. If you missed it, we had holiday week all this week. You can go back and watch. But if we go one more time, I went to repeat, mirror, and this time negative 45. Boom. We created this really cool mirror texture. Let me go ahead and line that up.
It's like a cool bandana or something kind of unique. That's so cool, dude, because all you did was like the quickest, most random like little scribbles, and it's turned it into something like that could be ceramic tile.
Yeah, 100%. I was thinking that too. I was like, this is a really cool ceramic tile. So that's just like a really cool hack to play with. And then something else that happened this year that I do want to talk about real quick is there are new tools in 3D, and these launched, I think, today. I'm going to say the word today, and I think that they did launch today because I got the update right before the show. So
within the last few hours, like yesterday or today, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to see what the deal was. It said that there was a new opportunity to twist objects, and so I'm going to play with that and see what twisting objects looks like. Illustrator's not happy about me opening 3D right now while I stream. There we go. All right, so let's look in here. It said that there was a new twist. So there's bevel. Bevel is a new thing.
There's a new twist in 3D, guys.
And a new twist in 3D. Let's see. Where would it be?
Let's see.
Oh, twist right there.
Oh, twist. Don't tell me.
Oh, no way.
Whoa. Guys, we're discovering it live. Now
way.
Turn it so we can see that, because I think the twist is happening all in the back there.
Oh, that's cool. So let's change to the depth here.
Sure.
Oh, twisty.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my. You know what I want to use this for? So I want to use this for like
you could do a star and then the star can twirl like an extruded star.
Yep. I want that, but I want like a 70s, like, let's see here, like a nice, like orange kind of thing. And then we're just going to extrude it like really deep and then do this cool. It's so good.
This is better than Intertwine.
That's so cool. That is so cool. And then I can come in here. You know what I think that this looks like? Like this is what I want to see for brands, right? So if we had like,
do you have taper? Gareth saying that taper is another. I think maybe taper's the twist.
So taper is right here. So taper is going on. So I'm going to turn the twist off, and you'll see that taper, I think, is going to give you just really cool perspective.
Comic style. Yeah.
Comic style.
Wow.
That's really cool. So I'm going to bring this all the way up, but then I'm going to twist this.
No.
Oh, it's so good.
It's almost like molded. It's like molded plastic. Look at that. Now it's looking a little Looney Tunes.
Oh my goodness, that is so cool. Add a little bevel.
We need to hit the stream right now. I have to play with this.
Right? Yeah, it's over. Shut it down. This is really cool. I like this a lot.
That's great.
I'm going to make the most insane typography that you've ever seen in your life using these tools. Yes. This is incredible. All right, well, this is one of my favorite things of 2022. That's awesome.
That's great.
That's incredible. Timing. All right. So, Nick, we have... Hold on. Let me get the slide. We got... Let's see. We have about 7 minutes left, and that's just enough time. We have an announcement. Drum roll, please. As you know, next season, we are moving to Twitch. We're moving to Twitch. We're starting January 11th. We're moving to Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. And, Nick, what do we want to make this announcement together? Like, what do we do here? Like, what's the big announcement?
Should we say it at the same time and
should we
start?
just tell them?
I think
I'll tell them and you can tell them what's happening. So here's our big announcement. This is going to be a shocker. Everybody stay calm. Stay calm. This is the last episode of Office Hours. Surprise. It's our series finale. It is the very last episode of Office Hours. But don't worry, we're not going anywhere. Nick and I are still going to be here. We are going to give Office Hours a new look. Nick, what are we going to be doing next year as we bring Office Hours to a close in about 5 minutes? I know it's shocking. I know it's shocking. In about 5 minutes, our last episode of Office Hours. What's coming next year that people can look forward to?
Well, we want to just completely reinvigorate and relook at what this show is all about. And with going to Twitch and doing something different, we thought this would be a perfect time to change the name, change the whole direction and objective of what we do. We started because everyone was home. We started because students and designers were working at home and working siloed. And we thought, Office Hours, perfect name, right? To kind of give you that, like, this is what you'd get at school. And we were both teachers, so it kind of made sense, right? So we're reinvigorating just for you guys and for us as well. I'm so excited about changing it up a little bit and not being too, being able to explore all these different things for creativity.
Yep. So it is not an end. It is a new beginning. We're going to be launching a new show over on Twitch starting on January 11th, 1 p.m. It's going to be a lot of the same stuff that you see here on Office Hours. It's going to be Nick and I giving you advice. We're going to be educating you on new projects. We're going to be helping you with your education journey. If you're a freelancer, we're going to be helping you there as well. But it is going to be a bit more structured and it is going to be a whole lot of fun. We're going to have segments for you that will be reoccurring. We're bringing back some portfolio reviews. We're really just reimagining what we do here so that we can bring some new life and a new show as we move over to Twitch. So this will be the last time that you see us on Behance. This will be the last time that we go under the Office Hours name. A little crazy, 2.5 years. We love you guys. And again, we're not going anywhere. We're just changing the show a bit. But it will be January 11th, 1 p.m., twitch.tv/Adobe is the place that you'll want to be. It's easy. It's easy.
And hey, if it's new to you guys, it's new to me as well. So like, I love the idea of this is a great time to tell other friends and family what's happening. Really, we'd love for you guys to recommend this to everybody because I can't wait to get there and just see like what we could do differently. I know it's a lot more interactive. We can have a ton more fun with polls and different things. So I'm learning this as much as everybody else is, so I can't wait.
Yep. Right now, we love looking at chat and seeing what you guys are typing, but we want you to be able to vote in real time. We want you to be able to play games with us. We want you to be able to submit your work so that we can show it on stream. There's a lot of stuff that we can do on Twitch to really make this show a lot more. And someone said structured. Yes, it's going to be chaotic Twitch energy and your favorite dumpster fire that you love from Office Hours. But we're going to have a bit more of a kind of a segment structure, I think, to where we'll have some recurring segments. We'll still have some demos and we'll have things that you can kind of get familiar and hang out with us week to week. And the cool thing that's happening, Nick, is since we're moving to Twitch, we're at the end of the day. What can happen on Twitch that can't happen here?
We might stay a little longer, which is great.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we can really craft the show to whatever you want it to be. So over the next few weeks, we are going to be off. We'll come back January 11th. But what we want from you is in chat right now, go ahead and put whatever feedback you have for us and what you want to see in...
What do we need?
In chat. Let us know what you want to see in the new show. And then I also want to show right here, we had some very favorite quotes that I want to recap, but this is a place that you also can drop your suggestions. In our Office Hours channel, you can see our Discord right over there, discord.gg/ACC. Go ahead and put in there what you want to see, in that next show. And Nick, I'm just going to read through some of these favorite moments that have been submitted by our community. So we got, I'm here to help. Hold on. Love that. Welcome to the vibe of Office Hours. It's a very beautiful dumpster fire. Yep. That's one of my favorites. I want to make sure that everything Nick does is in caps. Great. This is probably going to taste disgusting. Nick, about the green burger. Oh yes. We made a green burger at one point. I remember that.
Right.
Adobe does math for you. Yep. You say words that you know not. That was probably me starting a fight with Nick. I'm sweating under the spotlights of the Beacon Theater. Love that. Welcome to Friday, everybody. The things I get excited about are specialists, and the things I get paid for are generalists. Ooh, that's just good information right there.
Right there.
And yes, the unintentional glasses. I loved the Z's. And of course, Arthur for Halloween. That was a great time. So if you all have favorite moments or anything that you want us to see on the new show as we start it out in the new year, let us know. And Nick, we got 1 minute left. How do we close out office hours? What is the end of an era?
Can we go back in time a little bit?
I think that it'd be fun to close out and go back in time just a little bit to a time that was before.
That, though, you guys are freaking amazing. We love you guys so much. Can't wait for the next section, the next adventure we go on.
The next era that we get to take together. So
and high five to you, buddy.
Yes, we did it, Nick. We did it. There we go.
Boom.
So we love you all, and we're going to leave you the way that we found you with the very first. And Nick, you have to be quiet because your audio is going to stay live during this. We're going to leave you the way that we found you with the very first episode of Adobe Office Hours. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you on Twitch. Hello, everyone. What's up? How are you? Adam, Katrina, there's a whole bunch, Maxine, there's a whole bunch of people in chat. We're here with our friend Nick Longo. Nick, do you want to say hello?
What's up, guys? I see a ton of people in there. I see some students. This is great, man.
Yes.
Happy to be here. We finally got this going.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. This is the sign out for Adobe Office Hours. Bye.